what was notable coming into the end of last week, beginning of this week, and what we put in our note on Tuesday morning, the tech stocks really lagged. They really didn't start to generate any upside momentum until the last couple of days. So our call was that as the market's going to rebound, we do think we're getting a year-end rally. Tech is going to lead that rally. The participants are going to go back to the existing growth leadership. What I think is critical and what we have to be watching as we go forward is this relative performance line right here. That's the technology sector versus the S&P 500. We don't want to see new relative lows. That would be a concerning sign for us that tech is not going to be rebounding. We think from here into year-end, tech continues to lead. So let's look at a couple of bellwethers that have had big corrections. Microsoft, obviously right back to the 200-day here, is an important rebound. Now, it rallied very strongly today, up 4 or 5%. But what's critical, at least from my perspective, is that relative performance trend all the way through the correction held in. So I think this continues to be a core long-term holding, at least until that relative performance decays. And I think it's showing evidence that it is going to lead into year-end. Now let's look at Apple. It was one of the last of the big caps to correct very sharply, but close enough to the 200-day moving average that I think that correction's done. And when we look at that relative performance trend, again, still higher highs. I'm assuming this is going to be a low. You have higher lows all the way through. That trend is still intact. Apple is still viable at current levels, particularly for a year-end recovery. And then lastly, the semis have been a very difficult area to look at. We talked about Applied Materials a couple weeks ago as putting in a peak at the beginning of 2018, but incrementally they're starting to improve. I think they are the trade into year-end as well. When we look at Intel, again, we had lower lows coming into last week's lows, but that relative performance began to firm up. You started to see higher relative lows. And despite being right underneath the 200-day moving average, I think it has more upside. So if you're looking for laggards, you don't want to buy the names that ran like scalded cats today. Look at Intel as a laggard.
All right, Rob's going to come on over. Rob, we have so many questions, especially because he's not endorsing half of MAGA. And he's